Chapter 3 is all about the movement of fashion. Factors influencing fashion's movement. There are a variety of factors that can accelerate or decelerate the movement of fashion. You have accelerating factors, decelerating factors, and recurring fashions. Accelerating factors include widespread buying power, leisure time, increased education, the improved status of women, technology advances, sales promotion, and seasonal change. More people have the financial means to respond to fashion change, causing new fashions to reach the culmination stage of the fashion lifestyle more quickly. In turn, current fashions reach the obsolete stage at a more accelerated rate. Most of us will spend our leisure time engaging in activities that we enjoy. These activities cause us to purchase suitable attire for those occasions. Advances in technology make shopping for apparel a breeze. With just a few clicks, one can purchase apparel items and have it delivered to their home in a matter of days, and even in some cases, the very same day that the order is placed. Advances in technology has also increased the speed in which fashion is produced, allowing for changes within the fashion cycle to occur more rapidly. When we obtain a higher education, we are exposed to new ideas, processes, and thoughts. We also tend to earn more money, which we utilize to spend on new interests and wants that are derived from our broadened horizons. Society doesn't place the same restrictions that it once did on women. It is more accepting of women leading a life where women are free to choose what they wear and how. It is more accepting of women balancing the workplace and home. The discretionary income that women have can be spent on fashions. The goal of any promotion is to notify a certain target market that an item exists and also show them why they need it. What does this solve or fix? What does it make easier? Fashion is no different. We see it promoted all the time on TV and magazines, on social media. As consumers, we ourselves promote fashion every day that we get dressed and go out. As the season changes, so does our wardrobe. We rotate out or in spring, summer, fall, or winter clothing based upon the weather that season brings. Most consumers will go out and purchase new attire to be on trend for the season. Decelerating factors include habit and custom, religion, sumptuary laws, reductions in consumers' buying power. Decelerating factors are those that discourage us from accepting new styles or encourage our continued use of styles that are in the declination stage of the fashion cycle. Now, to be clear, the textbook does refer to these factors as retarding factors, not decelerating factors. However, I am choosing to use the latter term because I'd rather opt for a term that does not have such a negative connotation. Okay, so habit and custom. We're all creatures of habit, right? By habit, we do things unconsciously, from the routes we drive to the area of the grocery store that we start our shopping in, where and how we park our cars. These are things we do out of habit, and fashion is no exception. Think about it. What color apparel do you have more of in your closet? By habit, my closet is full of more black. Does a particular silhouette dominate your closet? let's talk about customs. So it's customary for wedding dresses in the US to be floor length and white. It is also customary for men's dress shirts to have a collar. And at one point, it was customary for grooms to wear a tuxedo. But as you've probably seen, fashion has begun to move away from the tuxedos for groomsmen, and you'll see more and more groomsmen wearing just a regular suit. In some regions of the US, it is still customary to not wear white after Labor Day. It is also customary for a men's suit jacket to have a handkerchief. In today's society, in some ways, there are less constraints on fashion due to religion. You can see this in the relaxed dress code that places of worship exert, many having a come as you are model. Sumptuary laws regulate what we can and cannot purchase. Let's focus on the laws as it relates to children's apparel. For example, with children's apparel, you cannot have drawstrings on their hoodies or anywhere around the neck area of a garment. Children's apparel also has to be flame resistant. And actually, this applies to mainly all clothing, even furniture. However, children's apparel have more stringent standards. When we have less discretionary income, we are apt to monitor our spending more closely. We begin to drastically reduce the amount of money that we spend on things that are not considered necessities. One of the first things that people will stop purchasing, or at least slow down on purchasing, is their fashions. We'll tend to stick to what we already have in our closets and be more creative with how we put these things together to create a different look. Reoccurring fashions. Fashions are always reoccurring. It is very seldom that a look is completely reborn. Rather, we reach back in time and pull a style and add a little twist to it to make it more acceptable for the times that we're in. Take, for example, the 1970s schoolgirl look, or the look of the Roaring Twenties. Both of these looks you'll see currently in the fashion world. You'll see them on the runways of some of the most hottest designers out right now. Did you notice how the schoolgirl look has adaptations that make it more acceptable for today's society? The pleated miniskirt, for example, or the sheer top, or even the wide leg trousers. All variations of this 1970s schoolgirl style, which makes it more appealing to consumers in today's market. Playing the apparel game. So this section is all about the female body, the sexuality of the body, and how fashion is used to be more modest or daring. So the game pieces. The pieces consist of various body parts of the female body. The waist, shoulders, bosom, neckline, hips, derriere, legs, and feet. History shows that as we saturate the exposure of one part of the body, we tend to shift to another. The game rules. There's 3 rules to the fashion game. Rule number 1. A particular part of the body is emphasized until interest has been exhausted. Rule number 2. Only certain parts of the body should be exposed at any given time. Rule number 3. Fashion attention must always go forward. So for example, we may emphasize a plunging neckline. However, at some point, we lose interest in that and we move on to emphasizing another part of the body. Predicting the movement of fashion. The ability to accurately predict which new styles will be accepted determines the success of fashion merchandising. Accurate predictions can be made through fashion forecasting. So, fashion forecasting. Here are a few steps to developing a fashion forecast. Identify facts about past trends and forecasts. Determine the causes of change in the past. Investigate the difference between past forecasts and actual behavior. Analyze the factors likely to affect fashion trends in the future. Apply forecasting tools and techniques using accuracy and reliability. Study the forecast continually to determine reasons for significant deviations from expected plans, and revise the forecast when necessary. Successful merchandising decisions are based on fashion forecasters' ability to obtain solid facts about consumer behavior, what they'll accept versus what they will not accept. With the proper information, merchandisers can adequately stock particular styles at certain levels through the fashion lifecycle. This allows the right merchandise to be at the right place at the right time. Merchants also lend a hand at securing information necessary to make such decisions. Sales records and inventory levels provide good insight into what's hot and what's not. Also, merchants are able to see firsthand what their consumers are wearing. The data collected by those in the fashion business aid merchandisers in identifying patterns. They can then take into consideration the factors that influence fashion's movement. Amongst these factors are current events, the appearance of prophetic styles, sales promotion efforts, the standards of taste currently in vogue. The news and current world events can affect our response to fashion. For example, the shift from the office to home has caused a shift in our fashion choices. Consumers opted for a more casual, at-home attire rather than professional wear. Prophetic styles are particularly interesting new styles that fall within the introduction stage of the fashion cycle. The young and socially prominent tend to take on these styles. These styles are going to either gain momentum quickly or they will barely even take off. Merchants must be able to utilize data to identify what people are wearing now and what this group of people will be wearing in the near future. This ties back again to having the right merchandise in the right place at the right time.